shit. Let's go. Are we live?
Um,
Can anyone see us? Leave a comment in the chat if you can hear us or see us. I think we're live now.
I'm just earning you money at the minute. There's only adverts that I'm watching.
Don't skip the ads.
Don't worry, mate. I don't have ad block. It's all good. Yeah, we're live, I believe.
Yeah, very good.
In the chat
Yeah, we're
right,
good.
welcome back to another live stream. So this is our third one. So those of you who's not been or watched any of the live streams before, so we're rotating our channels. So the first one was on Isan Drew's channel, and then Ricky and Isan. And then this week, you know, yours truly, the native Farang. So this week we're supposed to get Toon and Lee on the live stream. It was all scheduled in, penciled in, but unfortunately, Toon had to go to hospital, so Lee had to postpone. But don't worry, they're still very interested on coming on. We're talking maybe next week, is it?
Yeah, they're scheduled in for next week. Obviously, you know, as long as nothing bad happens, which I'm sure it won't. Everything sounds okay. But yeah, scheduled all in for next week.
Yeah, so we'll have you know, Toon and Lee on for next week, which is exciting for us. It's they're an OG in this rural Isan or rural living in Thailand. So they got a big farm, and they farm crayfish, they farm goats. They have 50 rai of land. So they've been at it a while, and they're old gritty farmers, Toon and Lee.
And they've certainly been at the YouTube for a while as well. I think it was like over 400 videos, I believe. It was a lot of videos. Yeah. So they've certainly, you know, kept people educated in some of the areas and well informed with what's going on in their lives. It's been an interest. I can't say I've watched them all. I'd be lying, you know. But I've watched a good few videos from previously and a lot of the recent stuff. So it's certainly good. It's I gotta admit, you know, the banter and what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out, lads. I need some support here. The sense of humor. It's not always the easiest to get, but it once you get it, it is funny.
So we've got a few of you in the live chat at the moment. So we have someone from Sydney, Australia. Hi from Derby. I live very close to Derby. I used to live in Stoke-on-Trent, so that was very close to me. Pixie Pom, John Tranter, welcome everyone. Leave a comment if you want us to discuss anything, and you know, just pop it in the comment. I'm sure we'll get round to it. We do keep an eye on it, don't we? So
11. I was going to say 11 p.m. in Australia. I'm surprised we got an Aussie there, but good to see you there, mate. Unfortunate time for the rest of them, but yeah, off you go, Nat.
So how's your week been, boys? What you been up to?
Sorry, I just editing the stream. Go on, Ricky, take it away.
Well, you've seen my week if you've been watching my vlogs. The twins were back in hospital for 3 nights. They had surgery again. They're back home now. They're doing all right. But yeah, we're going to go back again next week for a checkup, and hopefully they're not going to be staying in hospital any longer. I think earlier in the week I did a vlog. I had a bit of papaya salad, some somtam after watching Nat's vlog from the week before, I believe. That was all right. But yeah, besides that, just lots of driving. Pretty quiet week for me. Drew?
Oh, fuck. Put me on the spot there. I was too busy thinking about the food you was having and laughing because I sort of copied today and had a crab curry. So, you know, that was in one of the videos recently as well. So you guys we've all been inspiring each other by the sounds of it. My week, it's been okay. You know, I've been out and about. I've not done too much, if I'm honest. I've done a lot of work company-wise, and I'm also working on another project in my local area for another business. So I've been focusing on that a lot this week. I also, you know, played around with YouTube a little bit. Potentially, you know, burnt some bridges and maybe upset a couple of people with going into the clickbait territory, but it wasn't my intention. I thought I'd bring it up now and just get it over and done with. It wasn't the attention. Some people don't mind it, other people they do, but I'm sure the people that were sort of not happy by it are fine now. It's just one of them things. When you guys know you're doing YouTube, when you're experimenting, it's strange. I know I'm going off subject like I always do, but YouTube's a bit like the news, isn't it? The more negative something is, and the more you paint it in a bad picture, the more clicks you get, the more interaction you get. It's a strange one. I'm not saying it is what it is, but if you say, oh, you had a great day out, or you went and done this amazing thing, I don't think people obviously some people are interested, but a lot probably won't even bother clicking. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just how I'm finding things, and as time goes on, that would change. But yeah, week for me, been a busy day today. I'm a bit tired, as you can probably tell. So hopefully I don't go off subject too much and do my normal things. But yeah, that's everything for me. What about you, Nat?
My week, it's been good. It's general farm work. It's an everyday job, isn't it, around the farm? So just general farm work, looking after the fish, chickens, making sure the plants are watered. We've not had much rain here, so we have to keep watering the plants. I made a few videos this week. I had a little rant, just kicking back at some of the comments. But yeah, so this past weekend, I've only just come back today. We've been invited to Khao Yai National Park. So I've been doing a collab with a couple of other YouTubers, but they're more like food and travel kind of, niche. So it's a bit of a different content. So that'll be coming out some point, next week. I should have a couple of videos. It's very enjoyable trip. Driving through Khao Yai, you see all the wild monkeys, and I was trying to look for elephants, but I seen the poos in the road, but I didn't spot no elephants, unfortunately. We saw a deer, some monkeys, plenty of wildlife, and the scenery is just out of the world, isn't it? But the retreat that we stayed at was lovely. They treated us like royalty. Obviously, the guy who invited us, it was his parents. It's Dan Bangkok, if anyone watched a lot of YouTube. So he invited us, along with Danny and Diggy as well. So yeah, the retreat itself is Dan Bangkok's parents' retreat. So they own, a big plot of land, and they have huts and, restaurant, bar, everything. So it's a lovely experience. It's quite a privilege, really, to get invited. Sorry, all the mosquitoes are flying around me. I'm down there trying to slap them all. But yeah, that's my week. Nothing drastic. It's been quite a busy week, but mainly just standard stuff, things that I have to do around the farm, really. We've had new chicks. So our house chickens or fighting chickens have hatched their chicks. We've had 6 chicks. So that's quite good. It's good to show the girls the chicks. Other than that, yeah, nothing. Standard week, really. There's a lot of people from the comments now. I see people from all over the place. Perth,
Canada,
Armagh, England, Knock, Warwickshire, Liverpool, even from Sydney. A few Australian boys in here.
So how are the fish getting on that? I know, you just mentioned about you having to do the standard things on the farm, but how is everything? How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, the fish are fine. They're growing as we expect. The catfish are probably like that long now. We bought them when they're like a couple of centimeters. So they're growing as expected, but we're having issues with the trenches. But we're just making do for now until we can sell this first batch, and then we'll probably fill the trenches out and get rid of them. I'm thinking of digging a secondary pond. I feel like it's a better way of raising them.
So not I tried the trenches.
And, yeah, just give up the trenches and maybe just grow more unusual plants and things like that.
Well, that's interesting, just because I know a lot of people have commented about trenches with yourself. So could you possibly go into a little bit more? You don't. I know this might be for content for your channel, sort of separately. But what would be the reason that the trenches are not working out? I know people are interested, very interested in what you're doing with them.
Well, I had an idea before I even came out here that I wanted 3 trenches, just long trenches. They're like 30, 40 meters long. I wanted them a meter wide and a meter deep. But the issue was I was in Pattaya trying to sort out my visas. And when the digger man came in, he didn't dig them properly. So he dug 3 trenches, but also dug like an E shape at the end of the trenches because he thought water would flow. But that's caused us issues, and he dug them too long, so the lining that we got didn't quite stretch the whole way, so we had to buy extra lining. And where the lining connects is where the water's seeping out from. So the trenches lose water pretty quick, so we've had to put mud walls in to try and stop it so we can carry on growing the fish. Every now and then the mud walls will seep through, so when it rains heavily, it doesn't happen often, not yet anyway, but when it rains heavily, the walls start seeping through, so we lose quite a bit of water, so we constantly have to keep pumping water into the trench. But he dug them, they're not even a meter wide or a meter deep, it's all sorts of sizes, and they're not even straight. If you watch my videos, you'll see the trenches, they're like all curved and different sizes at different ends. It's just a hassle for me at the moment. So I'll be glad to see the end of them, I think. But yeah, the fish are doing well. The chickens we got in, they're doing fine. So we sell the eggs, and the money that we get for the eggs, obviously pay for the chicken food, and also pay for the fish food. So currently we're farming fish for free, in a sense. So that saves us money. So yeah, that's the idea of having the chickens, and it just pays for everything. It pays for obviously for the chicken food and also for the fish food as well every week. So.
Just while we're on this subject, I know we're going to move on real soon. This might be a bit too personal. What is your projections? What do you think that these ponds could sort of bring you in on a sort of cycle basis? Obviously, every time you sell them to the market. I'm interested because I'm interested to do it myself. Not the trench, pond wise. So I'm very interested in what you're up to.
So currently we have just over 10,000 fish altogether. So in the big pond we probably have 5,000-6,000, and between the trenches we probably have another 4,000, 5,000. So we're hoping they grow to a size where they're at least half a kilo or up to a kilo. So at the moment the going price is about 50 to 60 baht a kilo. So when the time comes when they're big enough, we'll give someone a call, and what they'll do is they'll bring their truck and we'll just empty the ponds and the trenches, and it's a free for all. They just scoop out what they want and then pay us the money for it per kilo. So yeah, we're hoping for about 50 baht a kilo. So you can imagine, 10,000. Even if we had half of those, so we sell 5,000 of those, it's 5,000 times 50, isn't it? So it's quite a good chunk of money. I think 250 grand, if my maths is correct. But yeah, it's a good chunk of money, which we're hoping to do every 6 months. So
yeah, we're hoping 6 months work, isn't it?
The fish is our main source of income. So, and the fact that the chickens are paying for the food for the fish as well is a bonus. So we don't have to fork out any money to raise these fish. So.
And just another one quick question. I do apologize. It's just a good subject. What sort of? I know it's probably all in all your videos as well, and people are from your channel, so they probably watch them. But what is the size, do you think, of your ponds? Like, is in sort of how much land are you using for these sort of ponds and etc. for the fish?
Well, the trenches stretch all the way up the farm. You're talking 40, 45 meters. The trenches, so the trenches take up a bit of space. But the pond at the back, you're talking maybe 15 meters long, 10 meters wide, around there. And it's as deep as an excavator arm can go. So we've had it dug very deep.
Yeah,
it holds a lot of water.
I'm really watching your journey with it, and I hope it, all the best with that, because I think there's a lot of eyes watching because they potentially might want to get involved with something like that themselves. So I think you've got a lot of eyes on you watching how you get on with the trenches, which you've just let us know probably you're not going to carry on with after, and then obviously two.
If it was done correctly, I think it would go fairly smoothly. The trenches, the fish are growing fine. It's just it's a lot of work for us having to keep pumping water in, pumping water out. We put return pumps just so the water can circulate better.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work. So whereas the big pond, we don't have to do anything. It's been sat there for years, and the water's fine. We can throw as many fish in there as we want, and it'd be fine. And it's a massive volume of water. So yeah, so we're thinking maybe a secondary pond, or just making that one, twice the size or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll be watching you anyway. I'll be watching to see what you're doing and how you get on. I'm very, very interested in seeing this first harvest. Would you say? The first, sale of the fish. We have got some questions here, so we might as well, make sure we keep up to date with that. We've got just to start up. We've got Return of the Wilderness. I made a clickbait video years ago. I feel like it's true with what I said previously. It's probably different for everybody though. We got Pro Travel Tours. Hi Native, I watched the first 15 of your vlogs last night.
That's 15.
Yeah. Wow, I'll let you answer that one. That's to you. That's to you. So we've got. Go on. Sorry.
No. Carry on, Drew.
We got John in Bangkok. Nice and close. Lovely. How is the weather in Bangkok? Is it raining? Rain's here every day. It's probably not for you guys, but me and Ricky discussed this previously as well. My area in Thailand has rain every single day, and nobody else does. Look, the farmers must like it. The rice is growing amazing. Don't know if you've seen any of the videos or any pictures, etc., from the area I'm in, Sakanakon area, but the rice is growing beautiful here. Another one. Hi guys, any advice about buying property or land? Is it just visit an area and see what has a sign out? Oh, that's quite a. I've got an interesting theory on this, but I don't mean it's correct. So I feel like driving around and people with signs out are normally not really that in a rush to sell. Like you ring them up and they know you want that land, you're quite keen or whatever, and they stick to the prices, etc. So certainly a way to go find land. I found looking on Facebook and looking at profiles and seeing who's quite young posting it, because it normally means they're selling off family land. I know that obviously I've not bought a lot of land or nothing, so to me I can't say that's correct, but that's my theory anyway. Just gauging somebody's Facebook sort of profile on the marketplace. On the marketplace, yeah, the actual marketplace. But you got to put like the location in Thai and do it in Thai, and you'll be a lot better off than like just typing in land for sale in English like we would.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You want to put the location, like the name of the location in Thai, and do everything in Thai. And there's not a lot on there, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's loads. I've seen some good deals on there, but obviously the best way is word of mouth as well. You'll find out, if people are struggling, and I hate to say it, but if you want a bargain, you're normally getting a bargain on somebody else's misery in a way, or they either need to get rid of it for whatever reason. So that's normally when the bargains come, when something's about to happen or already happened, or the bank's ready to repossess. I've had a few people come up to me in that situation, and I wish I bought that 300. Ricky, remember that plot we always talk about down the road from me? I actually got offered to buy that before I built this house, and I was too late, and now the bank's repossessed it, and I don't even know how to bid or try and buy it. So.
That's the one with just a roof, yeah?
Yeah.
That's actually, you can fix that up. It's actually a good little spot there, I reckon. You could have done a lot of things. But
I'd put a garage there personally in certain house, but I don't know.
I think if you have a Thai partner, just go around to the areas that you're interested in. Say, for example, Isan or, outskirts of Bangkok. Just go to those areas and just ask your Thai partner to speak to some locals.
Yeah.
Just ask around, see if they have any land up for sale. A lot of times, obviously, they're not even posted it, but they're thinking about selling the land. So if they have someone coming along offering a amount of money for certain rise or whatever, they'll be more than willing to give it up. Because a lot of times, people own a lot of land, but it's family land, and they don't have the time or the resources to take care or to start a farm from the land. So they'll be willing to sell a part of the land if you just go around and ask. I think, and you probably get the best price that way as well.
Yeah, but I think not to. Well, this might come across bad, but staying out of it as much as you can if you're a foreigner is probably the best thing to do as well. You know, I don't want
It's time for it to do the
yeah,
negotiation.
yeah, just like not even being there, just sort of maybe go and see it yourself and just stay back because I'm not saying that's somebody's gonna put it up just because you're a foreigner, but it potentially could happen.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of the time it's like real last minutes with people selling land, and you'll also find in Thai families, I don't know if that's everywhere, but in this area, if one of the family members doing all right, they tend to buy all the land off the others that need to sell it, because land here, I don't know, in my area I feel like the land's very precious to them, and it's really hard for Thais to let go and actually and sell land. The older generation, younger generation, I feel like they want to move off to Bangkok or Phuket or wherever, and they're not too bothered about selling their Isan land. But my partner's mother would be sickened if she sold that land that her granddad owned and lived in, and the generations. I said to my partner before, just joking around, would you ever sell it? She said, not when my mum's alive. Straight away, like, no, not a chance. You know what I mean? Not while she's alive. So it's one of them, isn't it? I don't know. I don't think there's a right and wrong, but you have to be careful with land in Thailand, though. Like, pricing is all over the place, and it's one of them, isn't it? It's sometimes it's, I don't know. They people will sit on it for a long time because it's a good investment, and land always goes up. Ricky, you got something to say on that?
Nah, but I saw a comment asking how me and you, Drew, can buy land in Thailand, because we can't, can we?
Cannot. No, 100% cannot. Well, I can buy it. I can put the money up, but I don't own nothing.
You are buying it, aren't you? If it's your money, you're buying it. But whether or not you own that land, it's a different story.
Good point.
I made a good video. It went viral for a little channel like me, and it's not clickbait, but literally she owns everything and I own nothing. That is very true. This is one for people with kids, though. You can certainly put it in your daughter or son's name, and then you can get a document done where it's leased to you for 30 years, like a long time. Like, I'm really bad at literature or whatever. I don't know what the actual word is for it, but I know it's there. You can get it put in writing on the title deed that you'll lease that land for 30 years, and they can't do nothing about it, so they can't sell it within 30 years. And then when your child is 20, they have full responsibility for the land. But I've said this all mumble jumble, it probably doesn't make sense. I'll say it again. So if your child's under 20, they can own the land, but they can't do nothing. They can't, like, the parent, the mother. So normally in the mother's case, because of obviously most people come here and marry a Thai lady and have a child with a Thai, not the other way around, like Nat's situation. But she has full access, so she could technically sell it or do something with it, even with it in your child's name. So it's one of them. There is ways around it. Speak to a lawyer. Don't speak to someone like me. Speak to a lawyer, and they can certainly help you with that. But Ricky, what's your situation with that? I'm not really dug deep into that.
Well, the land we live on, the missus owns it, so we're just living in the missus' house, missus' land. We haven't really looked into buying anything else lately, but we would like to get a bit of a plot of farmland down a track. But we'll worry about the kids for the moment anyway.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, I understand.
You do a bit of farming, Ricky. That would be pretty cool.
I like the chicken idea that you do. I reckon doing the eggs, that's all right. Wouldn't mind doing a bit of that.
Yeah, it's I've got to be honest with you about the whole, helping out and growing your own vegetables and stuff like that. Not for profit, but just for your own, for yourself.
Yeah, just to live off.
Although I'm going to be doing it in December, January time, any work that I've done outside in Thailand has killed me. So as much as it's going to be enjoyable to get to that end point and have vegetables and stuff like that, the actual manual labor is going to kill me. It's even painting my wall. I've only done 2 blocks. It's not easy. And
you need that wall group. It's taking too long now.
Yeah, but you've gotta respect and really give it to the Thais who work out in the fields all day, and it's the sun, the heat just makes it that so much harder. But I know there's people from hot countries in this chat right now, so it's not like their country is probably quite similar. But
own land already. So we've got Toby. Toby Price is the guy who I buy the chickens off. So
Oh,
his
is it?
missus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he says he's bought 2 rye of land, both by word of mouth. You know, just from the village. So like I say, you know, if you just go around to the area that you're interested in and just ask around, see if anyone's got a lot of land that, you know, they're willing to give up, more than likely there'll be someone that's willing to sell a plot of land.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
There's a few others. Bought half a rye of land for $5,000. That's a good price, to be fair. What's $5,000 in bahts?
Ooh, don't know. That's US dollars.
200k.
What, 5,000?
Yeah,
It's about that, isn't it?
half a rye, 200k. Decent.
Yeah, it depends. This is a thing with land. It just depends what sort of land it is. Is it on a road? Does it have power, water there?
Yeah.
Is it in the middle of a rice field? Like, I hate to always go back to my videos, but I done a video about land for 60,000 baht a rye. But you won't be building an house there. I'm telling you that right now. There'll be no house being built there unless you want a hut, a bamboo hut, or something like that. Which is
Well, it's on our land. We're on a dirt track, so we're the very end farm on this track. And before we moved here, you know, we had no water or electricity. So the land that we bought was a lot cheaper than it is now. You know, if we were to sell it now, we're talking triple the price of what we bought it for, just because we put electricity and water in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big cost, like, to draw electricity from the main road down to here. It was one of the biggest costs for us.
Well,
but it makes the land worth a lot more, like you say, Drew.
Yeah, it just you know, on near roads it's ridiculous prices, and you know, bit more sort of down dirt tracks it's cheaper. It just all depends, doesn't it? It's hard one to talk about. It's hard to really pinpoint stuff like that with land. We've got another question. How many deadly snakes have you come in contact with in your land? Me personally, one. It's the one that Cat brought back, but we got rid of it relatively quick.
I'm not sure about deadly because I don't really know the different species of snake around here. But if I see one, yeah, I'll terminate it from the land. I'll make sure it doesn't come back, in a sense. But I see 1 or 2 every week. But they've mainly been like little tiny thin ones. Yeah. Nothing like a massive python or anything like that yet. So
if you join,
we see 1 every week.
If you join one of the Facebook groups, there's like ones for different areas about the snakes in Thailand, like snakes in Phuket, snakes in Pattaya. You'll soon get used to what snakes are around, and you know it's interesting. I'm not personally a fan of snakes, you know. I'm not, you know, they are what they are. I'm not scared of them. I'm just not a fan. Some people love them, like people in that group. The admins absolutely love them, you know. But yeah, it's worth knowing what's around, if I'm honest, because you might need to tell an hospital one day what bit you, you know what I mean? Because somebody was telling me, I don't know if it was in my comments or it was in one of these live streams, but if a snake bites, it actually doesn't bite you from the ankles. It normally bites like your groin area, like the higher part of your leg. Yeah, he was telling, it was like a statistic or something. Because I was like, oh, I've got wellies on, I'll be fine. But yeah, it was something about a statistic, because especially like, I think it's like a cobra and stuff, they stand up, don't they? So they spit. And they obviously stand up. I don't know. It was a comment anyway.
Have you boys seen a cobra since you've been in Thailand? Because I've never seen one.
I think I have. You know, it was like a dark brown type color. I'll be honest. I got myself a bit of bad luck. I ran over a snake not like a couple months ago as well. You know, it was like going across the road.
It's a very common roadkill over here, isn't it? A snake.
Yeah.
There's a couple of interesting comments on here. So one from Peter Smith. How do these relatively young people finance themselves living in Thailand? I don't believe farming a small plot will generate more than enough for subsistence living. Well, I mean, we all generate finance differently, don't we? Like Drew, you have your business, which I believe is done quite well, has it?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't like to, you know, it's done okay. It's ticking over. It's still early days. It's enough to finance living here in Thailand. But if I was in the UK, I certainly wouldn't be saying it's doing well. You know, with the costs of the cost of having a family in the UK. If I was single still in the UK, I'd be happy. But the cost of having a family in the UK, I certainly would. I'd probably have to go and do another job part time or something, you know. But I feel like it's doing okay. And I had COVID made me the money, if I'm honest. I made from this job. It was a very busy period in the end of COVID, and I made a good chunk to then buy other like stuff like a truck and stuff like that, you know. But now it's died down and it's just tick over, which is it's sad sometimes to think if I could be on that high like before, or I'll be building a house in Phuket or something. I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm joking.
See, for me, the cost of living is very cheap. Obviously, we don't have to pay for rent or water. It comes from the groundwater, and obviously we own the land, so we don't have to pay for rent. All we have to pay for is electricity. We just had another bill through. It went up a little bit. It's 2,500 odd. But you know, even that's what 50 pounds or $60 for the month. So that's really the only bill that we have. We paid all our debts off back at home in England, and then sold everything. So, you know, I've had a lot of comments saying, you know, I must have an inheritance or a stash or, you know, and I just replied, yeah, I had suitcases buried under the land before I moved out in.
Yeah, my mum bought all mine.
But no, in all honesty, we didn't come out with that much money. We just sold everything that we had. We didn't even own a house in England. Just sold my car and all our possessions, things that we don't need, and obviously saved a bit from the jobs that we were doing, and just moved out with a few £1,000s. That's all we really need. So we're banking on making money off the farm. We're hoping to make a decent amount on the fish. You know, it won't be nowhere near what we were making back home in the West. No one's saying that you're going to make, you know, the sort of money that we were making in the West. But it's more than enough to live a nice lifestyle out here, I think.
Yeah, I know you're not going to like this what I'm about to say, but I also feel like you've got a very good and interesting sort of story to tell, and your channel is growing nicely, and you know a lot of us are certainly interested in it. So I feel like YouTube at some point is also gonna top up your income from your farm, and you know, like you say, you don't need a lot. So you know, I feel like you have a very good chance of making it work.
It's nice that obviously, you know, we're all on YouTube, and it's giving us a little bit of income. You know, you might pay for the market trip a few times a week, but we're not relying on YouTube. We can't, you know, YouTube can end at any point. You know, we could say something terrible on stream and someone will strike our channel, and it could just end overnight. So we can't rely on YouTube. But it is nice that we get a little bit of income from it. But also, I do have backup plans, like, because I am a Thai national. It's easier for me. It's easier for me to get a job and things like that. So if I need to, I'll just go to the city and work a proper job. You know what I mean? I'd rather work a proper job over here than back at home, I would say.
Exactly.
What about you, Ricky? How are you supporting yourself?
Yeah. The Mrs. Id, she's a bit of a vlogger herself, and she sells products online, like, you know, just stuff you'd see on Lazada and whatnot. Plus the mini mart that I've vlogged before. But like what you were saying just before, Nat, you can come here, you can own a house, or the missus can own a house in my case. You're not paying rent, you're not paying a mortgage. There's no council rates. Like, I mean, you might be a bit of, you know, I don't know how much it is, 30 baht a month, 20 baht a month, but back home in Australia, it's like $6,000 a year for some people just for their council rates.
Yeah.
So you've got none of that. You just hear low cost of living. 15 baht.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
Expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
But yeah, no, it's one of them, isn't it? I know we do cover it quite a bit as well. It's just it's different for everybody. You got to remember that as well. Like, everybody lives a different lifestyle. We live quite, not to be rude to you guys, but I feel like we live quite similar ones, which are quite plain. You know, we're very easygoing. We're not out drinking. We're not out, you know, partying or rooftop bars or big flashy restaurants. You know, so I feel like that's a big factor of how we can do it. Let's sort of stay in Thailand like we do. Because if I was doing all that flashy stuff, I wouldn't be here long. I really wouldn't.
Oh,
you
no.
know.
No.
Someone said, Drew, I heard you say you don't need a new truck in Isan. Would you like to swap for a 2003 Isuzu? Runs like a dream. Yeah, if you want to put cash towards it, yeah, you know, I could do a swap maybe. Honestly, but if anybody's interested in a Ford Ranger, look, car salesman's coming out right now. Really good car. I actually do think it's a really good truck. Just maybe not worth buying sitting brand new in Nissan, if you ask me my opinion. Got another one. Oh, this is for you, Nat. Sell some fish off direct to the on the public road on a stall. You could do that, couldn't you?
I could do that, but it's easier to just give someone a call and just empty the ponds.
Yeah.
You got to physically be there selling it.
If I was out grilling the fish on the streets, but it just takes too much time and
it's a 12-hour job.
Yeah. I'm here for an easy life, not a tough life. I'm semi-retired, guys.
This is one for you, Ricky. Seeing as you're interested in the whole fish side, etc., you know, because you don't particularly have that farm yet, you could look into, if you have space, you could look into sort of like the crayfish farming, and you don't necessarily have to be doing what Nat's doing. You could be breeding tiddlers and selling, you know, like babies out to people that want to put them in their pond, and you know, there's plenty of people that watch.
Getting a little set up.
Yeah.
Like, I think Lee does a lot of that, doesn't he? From what I've seen.
So. Yeah, I believe so. They do a lot with the crayfish and all that. It's crayfish, isn't it?
Even the goats. I love the goats that he does.
Yeah.
Be keen to chat to him about that next week if he's on.
He knows them all by name. I think he has like 80 goats or maybe like over 100 goats, and he knows every single goat by name. It just cracks me up. He's like, "Where's Bobby this week?"
So this is one that's going to fly over everybody's head, but we've got a guy called Return of the Wilderness here, and it gives me like a flashback to being about 15 years old again, playing a computer game, and I'm just not sure if that's that same person, because, you know, I just remember being like 15 watching his videos, but maybe it's not the same person. Anyway, someone said start growing weed. That is interesting, you know. It's hard. It's easier said than done. We certainly do have people in the Discord, the Life in Real Thailand Discord, who are doing that. So, you know, that's a potential for people. Not really for me personally. Although, you know, I did own a shop, etc. It just doesn't align with me anymore. You know, if it was easy, I probably would do it, but it's not easy to grow good weed. You know,
I think it's too risky. There's a lot of imports now, so. You know, you get stuff from California and things like that just, you know, takes over the market. And also the law can change overnight, and it's just a risky business to go in, I think. It's good if you're already, you know, doing it and you got a big farm of it, but if you were to start out now, you don't know what's going to happen down the line, especially when we're getting a new government and things like that.
That's the worry.
Yeah, well, it is people. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, but I think regulations might come in, medical side, and you know, there's different. Yeah. You know, a lot of people have different opinions on what would happen, and it's just best not to dig too deep into them. I think we might get into a debate here with people.
Someone asked what I was doing before I moved to Thailand. So my job in England, I was a sales representative for a ornamental fish. So all the, you know, your Nemo fish and your dory fish and things like that, that goes in, you know, a tank at home. So we were the largest importers of ornamental fish in Europe. So I was the Northern Territory of the UK. So I had from pretty much Stoke-on-Trent all the way up to Scotland, bit of North Wales and Ireland. So I was the rep for all those shops.
Wow. International.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So yeah, I had to, you know, I was traveling a lot, so because I have to go and visit all these shops and try to sell them our products and try to sell them our fish and see, you know, give them advice on what they're doing, what they should be stocking and things like that. So yeah, that was my job back at home. If anyone is interested.
That means like your fish that you have in the pond now, we want to see excellent results. You can't come over here with the expertise and you know, not perform well with them trenches and that pond.
Yeah, well, it's saltwater fish, so it's a bit different because obviously we got freshwater fish here. But back at home, I was selling saltwater fish, so
Somebody,
anything from the ocean, basically.
somebody said export Thai fish to the UK. That's actually there's. I can't remember what the fish is called. It begins with a B, but there is a very yeah. That's it. It's a popular fish that ends up in a lot of UK fish tanks and does get exported a lot. It's very beautiful, isn't it? You get different versions, different colors. Very beautiful fish.
In our guppy ponds, we've got a couple of female betas in our guppy ponds. They're called Siamese fighting fish. So a lot of people, they get the two males and they put them in like a tank by themselves, a small tank, and they fight to the death.
Oh right, I didn't know that was a thing. I can't say
I have actually seen them. People have them in their houses and whatnot.
Well, they're nice, colourful fish. They're great, like little centerpiece fish. You can have a small tank for them as well. Like, you don't need a massive tank at home, and not much filtration either. So they're awesome.
Somebody says, who owns buffalo? Well, I do. There's two in that photo that I own and freed up my partner do. I can actually own that. There's no law to say I can't own that buffalo. So, that buffalo is mine, but I just don't farm with it. The father-in-law, they're pretty much his. They're ours money-wise. If we sell them, they're our money. But he does like the buffalo, the buffalo mess. He sells it in bags for fertilizer and stuff. He's got little side hustles for that, I believe. But yeah, they're ours. He just does it as like a pastime. I'm sure he just goes down to the field, eats kratom, maybe smokes a little bit, chats with his mates while the buffaloes are just grazing. I'm sure that's what he does. He always comes back happy, so there must be something to it.
There's another one here. Will I continue BJJ or take up Muay Thai? Definitely won't take up Muay Thai. The Thai kids out here are too hard. They'll mess me up.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, so got to protect it at all costs. I might get insurance on it. But BJJ, I would like to get a black belt by the time I'm 40. That's my aim, but I've not had the chance to go and look for schools around here yet. But I would like to carry on practicing jiu-jitsu. So, but definitely not Muay Thai. There's too many hard Thai kids out here, that are just too good at it, and they've been doing it their whole life. If I was to start now, I'd be too far behind that, I think.
What about you, Ricky? I know you like your sport.
Yeah, well, I think the first year we moved here, I wanted to do Muay Thai, but there's just nowhere around it I'm aware of. I don't want to do it for the fighting. I just want to do it for the fitness, really, the cardio. I reckon it'd be great. Bit of fun.
You somewhere in East End, no?
I don't know. Yeah, I keep asking the missus, find somewhere for me, but yeah,
well,
nowhere around.
Mate, when you can start booting bamboo poles like it's, kicking a bit of cardboard,
I reckon it'd be great fitness, though. Yeah.
What about you, Drew? Would you take any like martial arts or anything out here?
Bit of a lazy person. No, I would, yeah, but I've got to admit, I'm not very good at like committing to gym or sport or nothing. I get very sidetracked. I'm a bit of a computer geek. I don't know if you know. I am just a bit of obsessed. I'm obsessed on a computer, but I'd love to. In my brain, yes, I would really like to do it, but in theory, probably not. No. What else we've got? We've got question for Nat. Why did you choose trenches for your fish? There we go.
So I was doing a lot of research before I came out here, and I seen a couple of the Thai YouTube channels of local farmers, with small farms, and they got a plot of land like we have here, just narrow and long, and they have trenches in, and they made it look so easy, you know what I mean? So, but they hand dug everything and put the lining in themselves, and I was watching how the fish was progressing, and they did fine with the fish. Their fish was fine, they grew up nice, and they were able to sell the fish from the trenches. So I thought, it would look nice on the farm to, separate the farm a little bit, add a nice water feature down the whole farm, and in between you got, fruit trees. So in a couple of years, my plan was, my vision was to have the trenches, to water the fruit trees from the trenches using the fish water, and then you have fruit trees all the way down. It just, a nice vision in my mind that that's why I went with the trenches, but it just wasn't done right. That was all. So I might give it another go. But more than likely at the moment, I think we're going to fill it in and get a secondary pond.
We've also got. Now, I don't know if you can help us with this one. I literally can't read Thai, and I don't want to be rude.
I can't read either.
Okay. Did you consider other areas beside Isan to settle? My mother-in-law lives in Charun Sin, is it? Basically in the middle of Odontani and Sakanakan, but I love the north, so the struggle is real. That's a very good question, if I'm honest. It's gonna be, I'll let Ricky answer first.
Well, we ended up where we live because this is where it originally came from. Her parents were here, so we came to live with her family. But every now and then, I feel like I'd like to live in a big town if I wasn't living here, like just a big town, have a local gym, you got a local supermarket. But anywhere else in Isan, I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am, to be honest. What about you boys?
Let that go.
I'm not in Isan, so
yeah.
I think I'm in quite a good spot because I'm like I say, I'm only an hour and a half from Bangkok, hour and a half from Pattaya. So if I need to go to town for anything, it's just to me, an hour and a half is pretty short drive. So I'm in quite a good spot, and I like the rural side of things. So I like being out here in the quiet wilderness. But if I need to go to town, it's only a short drive away. So I feel like I'm in quite a good spot. But I would go and live in Isan. It's where I was brought up. It's where I was raised. So I love Isan. I could live anywhere in Isan, I think. What about you, Drew?
For me, yeah, I really like where we are. It's a bit far. It can be a pain to get to this location. The distance from somewhere like Bangkok's ridiculous, but that's what makes it good in a way. It's not somewhere where everybody's been, and I'm not trying to be that different person or whatever, but it just sometimes you can even say, Sakanakan or some of the surrounding areas, and people are just they might look at you a bit like not too sure, like I'm talking other foreigners, not Thai wise, but yeah, I think the area is very beautiful where I am. I'm very close to Bangkan, which is, I'm always going on about. I'm always trying to push people to go there because it's not flat, it's not just flat rice fields. It's, it's got lovely mountains. You can see over to the Lao mountains in the distance across from the Mekong. Bangkan is an amazing province for Isan. Just personally, my opinion, I really think it is. But about living other places, for me, because I'm 26, I don't see myself living in Isan all year round, every year. I would like to build houses other places. I know that might sound ridiculous, but, as time goes on, Isan would be my main base, but I certainly would like, a nice house in the south. Only small. You can build a nice house for 500,000-600,000 baht, I'm not talking about big things. I'm just think, for us in our age, if we can get all the land now while we're young, and then maybe even build in 20 years, not so much have to build now, I think we could certainly have more than one home and go into different areas. If I was coming here on my pension and I was just looking to settle down, then yeah, I'll just pick one place and stay. But I don't know. That's my outlook. I think Isan will always be part of our home. We'll always come here throughout the year, but I don't think we'll be here all year, if I'm completely honest.
If I had the money, because I've just come back from Khao Yai National Park, if I had the money, I'd buy some land in like a nice national park, where it's surrounded by proper jungle, where you see, wild monkeys and things like that, where you have a chance of, meeting a bear or an elephant. Oh. Yeah, but I was just looking at the prices. Some of the houses there, like starting from 5-6 million baht. It's like, I don't have that kind of money yet. Yeah, it's very expensive, but it's a national park, isn't it? So it's always going to be a bit more expensive. But yeah, if I had the money, that's the sort of place I'd probably move to.
I spoke to somebody like a while ago. This is before I even built a house, and like he'd been here a long time. I think from what he said, it sounds like he'd done okay. And I think the trick with Thailand is to find somewhere which is going to be up and coming over the next 20 years and just buy land, just bits of land there. And, it is a bit of luck, maybe it doesn't take off like you hoped. But if you can buy the right pieces of land in a place where it's being developed or is about to, take a spring, I feel like even Isan's only growing, isn't it? Look at the quality of houses from when Nat was young to now. Like in our area, some of the standards of housing is amazing. It makes mine look awful, like there is some really good quality Thai people building. I think people do forget sometimes, there's a lot of rich Thais too. It's just sometimes the gap's not quite there. There's not like that middle class, is there? That's the issue. It's normally either quite rich or real rich, or not doing so well. It's harder to get that middle class here in Thailand, isn't it? I find. But there's certainly.
There's a question for Ricky. Did you have to pay extra bringing your bike on the plane with you, Ricky?
Yeah, I think I didn't bring a checked bag. I just brought the bike. I just had to pay, I think, a $20 fee, something like that, because it was oversized. But besides that, real easy. Pick it up at the airport.
Did you go in the cabin? Yeah. Did you actually have to take it on the plane like a push pram?
No, I packed the bike up in a box and check it in. So just like luggage, but you just drop it off at a different section at the airport, pick it up at a different section at the airport. Pretty easy though.
You didn't have to pay any import tax or anything.
No. You might be supposed to, but yeah, it didn't. Yeah. I don't know. No one asked. So I don't know. Yeah. I think it's people go overseas and bring a laptop back to Thailand as well. I think it's like that. It's just
dodgy Ricky at it again. That
Dodgy Ricky.
Hannah said no land for me, I guess, without a Thai partner unless I set up a company, right? Look, I'm not going to advise you on that, but I think even setting up a company, if it's not actually a legit company, or like a proper trading company, and it's just to buy land, is probably not a good thing to do. I think they are clamping down on that in certain places. I don't know, in the middle of Isan, I don't think you'd have many problems, but certainly don't advise you to do it. I know in the big places, the Thai authorities are certainly chasing down people for that right now.
But renting is incredibly cheap. Don't forget that. And you can rent farmland as well if you're after a bit of farmland, Hannah.
Another thing you could do is you could technically try and find somewhere to have like a long-term lease, Bit of a similar situation what I said about what you can do with your daughter to yourself, like from either your Thai partner, if they got the deed, or your daughter, and they can do that to you. It's a similar situation. Speak to a lawyer, honestly. There are ways around it, but you're not going to own it if you haven't got that partner. Well, you're not even going to own it if you have got that partner, because the partner's going to own it. But there are ways you can secure land for long term. Yes, it just depends if you care about it going to somebody sort of when you leave, if that makes sense. But,
people really hate Stoke-on-Trent, don't they? I've just seen a comment here. Standard of housing has really improved. Running water, flushing toilets. Stoke's really improved in the last 10 years. I mean, Stoke's terrible. It's not that
bad. So Gary said, good to see you all together. I've been watching each one another in a separate box. Really likes. Thank you. He really likes what he's seeing. Keep it up. So thanks, Gary. Mate. I appreciate that.
Mac TV's in the house. So Mac TV has a YouTube channel as well. He's a travel vlogger. But he's currently working in Pattaya down in Soy 6. If you're ever in Pattaya, just go to Foxy Bar down in Soy 6. Mac will look after you. Evening, Mac. Hope all is well, mate.
I can imagine he's got some stories, but probably not for this stream. But I can imagine he's got some interesting stories.
What else have you got?
I'll let you.
Do you think there will be big changes in Thailand with the new government?
Well, have you guys seen this digital wallet thing they're talking about? Apparently, they're going to be handing out 10,000 baht to residents.
Yeah, that's been
much about that.
Yeah, they did say that before they was even elected. That was one of their things in the campaign. It'd be interesting to see where you can actually spend that. I'm not really going to comment much on it. I don't, to be honest, Ricky, for me and you, it's certain that
we're not involved.
We shouldn't really mention too much. But yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. There's going to be some sort of terms and conditions. Nat should be able to get it though. We'll be able to find out all the information from him.
Maybe, I don't know. I've not even heard of it.
No?
Honestly, I don't watch the news that often, so I don't really know what's going on. If I'm being truthful, I just try and stay, in my little own bubble and just stay out of politics as much as I can.
Yeah. Do I think there's going to be changes? Yes. Whether that's
there has to be. There's always changes when the new government comes in, isn't there? So
I think the big one for people, and this is one that we'll just keep very, very short. But I think a big one will be what's been on the media, YouTube, the papers and stuff a lot recently is like requirements for certain visas and bits. I think that's going to be the main changes us as foreigners will be affected by. Other stuff, it's just Thai politics, and it's it probably won't really affect us too much. I know they're looking at improving some airports and stuff like that, so that's good for us, good for everybody.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
But as a whole, I don't know. The only thing that worries me is visas and stuff, but that's not a subject we should really get into. What do you think, Ricky?
I haven't heard anything about the visas. I've seen they want to increase the minimum wage, which is probably a good thing, but that's also going to drive up prices as well. So it goes both ways, really. But yeah, I'm happy to see what they do. It's not really my place to speak, is it?
Me as a business owner, well,
yeah, true.
Business shareholder, bloody hell, I need to watch what I say. Me as a business shareholder, I only own 49%. Bear that in mind. Increasing minimum wage, not an issue. I pay well above minimum wage, so I pay roughly 30,000 baht a month for staff, up to about 40,000, which is well above minimum wage. So it wouldn't affect me. My wages would stay the same.
Yeah.
But increasing the wages and not doing other things to strengthen that will cause issues. If you increase the wages and there's not other help for factories who rely on the lower wages, they will uproot and go to places like Vietnam, Cambodia. So I'm sure they've got a plan. I'm sure there's a plan there, but it's not as simple as just, come on, let's put the wages up. You have to look at everything around. And
I think they're in no rush to do it either.
Yeah.
They're still a few years down the track.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think we should move on from that one. I don't know. I feel like Thai politics is a scary game to talk about.
Charging battery.
So what we got? Couldn't live under their spell. I'm not quite sure. I've lost what he means with that, if I'm honest. New Thai government. Don't talk about that. My girlfriend rents a house. I'll be honest, lads, I'm a bit tired. I'm squinting. Does somebody else want to take over with the comments? I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit zoned out.
Why are breed of buffaloes looking straight at Nat? Someone asked. Any reason for that?
I don't know. Maybe they remember me as a kid or something. Because I used to live in East End, so they might come from a family lineage or something. I don't know.
I personally.
Buffaloes.
Well, they don't like me. They don't tend to like foreigners at the moment. So maybe it's the fact that they can't actually see you, but they can hear you. And to anybody listening to you, you certainly wouldn't sound Thai.
Huh.
But health insurance will be mandatory from January next year. I've read Bangkok Post. Yeah, I don't think anything's set in stone, but just to briefly go over it, you've got changes to the elite visa potentially happening relatively soon. If health insurance comes in, that's going to be a big thing for certain people. Age dependent, circumstances, everybody's circumstances are different. The
health insurance isn't a bad thing. I reckon you should have it if you're in Thailand. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think if you're going to live in Thailand, I think it should be mandatory that you take out health insurance anyway.
It depends,
Just
doesn't it? It depends. I think, especially people that work, I'm assuming it'll only be for certain visas, like non-B you wouldn't, because if you work for a company, you pay Social Security, so you pay for the system, so you shouldn't have to have mandatory health insurance, but I'm sure it won't count for that one. It'll just be for maybe retirement or and all the non-Os. But there's elite visas changing. There's potentially this health insurance. I didn't really know that. There's the police deputy or something who's trying to push, the requirements to go up in terms of, how much you've got to have in the bank. That none of this is set in stone, and nobody has a correct answer for this yet. It's all speculation, but it's certainly stuff that's being brought up, which, I don't want to worry anyone, but it's something you have to think about, isn't it?
Mm. Another question from Hannah, it just come through. She says, thanks for answering. Not so much about owning land, but a little bit of self-sufficiency, renting land to drill a well, etc. Is that realistic? Can she do that like what I do, but rented? So Ryan in Bamboo has actually done a good interview with a couple of other YouTubers, Ben and Laurel. So their land that they live on now is rented. I'm not saying everyone can, just buy or come and rent land like this, but they've just struck lucky, I think. So they met someone, that owns land in Thailand, and that land has been derelict. So they've allowed them to rent the house. Plus, I think is it 2 rai that they're living on?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And the owners allowed them to do whatever they want on the land. So, they're growing vegetables and things like that. So I'm sure if they want to dig a well, the owner would be down for that anyway. But obviously, it's up to the owner of the land, isn't it? You have to just agree things with the owner of the land. But I'm sure it can be done. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You'd want to try and go into a long-term lease instead. I know that's technically renting and stuff, but you want to make sure you're not just renting on like a yearly basis contract. If you are serious about it, if you're putting investment in, you're going to want to be on a nice lease and make sure it's all covered. Like a lawyer is relatively cheap in Thailand if you get the right one. There's plenty of good ones. Just to have somebody look over stuff. But I think, you want to be on a lease personally. But even if you do the renting route, if it's adding value to a person's property, that 9 times out of 10 they're not going to say no. Like back when I used to rent places, if I said to the owner, "Can I change this aircon? I don't like it," they would not say no. They'd be like, "Yeah, of course, no problem." It's one of them. So if you're adding value, I wouldn't. I don't think there would be an issue. Sometimes there could be though.
Wow, so we got guys.
We got a
We've
question.
answered quite a lot of questions in this stream, haven't we?
We got a question saying, "Are you on a marriage visa? Are you guys?" No, I'm on a non-B with a work permit.
I'm on a partner visa, Paul, and that's just a citizen.
Well, yeah, technically I'm a citizen, but currently I'm on an education visa because when I came, I didn't have my Thai ID yet, so I've had to, get a long-term visa out. So yeah, me and my partner Camilla's on an education visa for now, and then next year I'll apply for my passport within this year, and then I'll leave and re-enter on my Thai passport, and then she can either extend a marriage visa, or we can go down the route of getting the kids their Thai IDs and Thai passports, and Camilla can stay as parent of a Thai citizen, or we can even get married, and then she can be on the same type of visa that you're on, Ricky.
Yep.
Nah, someone's gonna be ringing up immigration on you today after that, mate. You're working on your educational visa.
Well, I'm trying to fix up my Thai. My Thai's a bit rusty, so I do need to go to school still.
You got your ID cards, you're all good.
Yeah. I've got my ID card now, so.
It does sound crazy to listen to what you just said. Like, you're on an educate, but I understand how it all works. But that's the first I heard about that. I didn't actually know that was the situation.
Yeah, no. When I came, I didn't have my Thai ID. It wasn't sorted, so I had to. I came on a 30-day visa like everyone else would, and then after a couple of weeks, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to sort out visas here. So we just spent a load of money on two education visas. So obviously, Camilla can stay for the year, and then it gives me time to sort my Thai ID out. But it didn't take too long anyway. So now I've got it. It's a lot easier for us. So
yeah, I have got something to say on that. Reading a lot of sort of online stuff, not for you personally, but for people coming here and getting educational visas, it's I've read that it causes a lot of issues down the line, like when you finish that and you're looking to go on other visas and stuff. They're really the educational visas. I think I'm true to say it's probably been abused a little bit over the over a lot of years, and that's another thing they're clamping down on, about the foreigner companies owning houses and stuff, and visas. Yeah, they're really on things lately, aren't they? I've seen a lot of it, which is good. It's not bad. But yeah, for your situation, it's obviously not the case.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. It's a lot easier now that I've got a Thai ID, so we have plenty of options for us. So I'm not too worried on the visa front. Like I say, I'm very lucky that I'm a Thai national. So, but yeah, that's what I'm on.
What about your children? Do they need a visa to come here? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
so kids, as long as they're with you, they're fine. They don't need any sort of visa. I think up until they're about 16, and then obviously you have to either
they're technically on overstay now, aren't they? But it's not punishable. Yeah. There's no punishment for overstaying for a minor. But I think technically they're on overstay, and then is that correct?
Yeah. But I think they can stay for 16 years. I think until they're 16, I think you can just come.
But once you have your passport, you could get their passport, couldn't you? It's like a
I'm gonna sort it out probably within this year. I'll sort their passport and Thai IDs out, so they'll be Thai nationals, and then depends what route we go down for Camilla for her visa.
Yeah,
I don't know how easy it is to get parent of a Thai national, because you could probably go on that as well, Ricky. But it's probably easier for you to be on the partner visa, is it?
I think the requirements are pretty similar.
Yeah.
From what I looked at, I had to get a non-immigrant O visa originally to then apply for the partner visa. So that maybe Camilla would have to do that down the line. I don't know.
Yeah, I think your partner.
We have plenty of options.
Your partner has plenty of options. Yeah, and citizenship can happen relatively quick for your partner. So she's in a very good place. All foreign women coming to Thailand have it easier, but that's because they're the minority. It makes sense why it's a lot less foreign women coming to Thailand to live or to for long term. Somebody put, while renting can be the smart option depending on the personal situation. Yeah, renting's not for everybody, but if you can't own, then
it's a different circumstance in Thailand, isn't it?
Yeah,
compared to renting back west.
It depends. Like Hannah says, she wants to, maybe grow some plants and vegetables and dig a well. I mean, digging a well, it's not going to set her back thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever. So it depends how much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to put into it and risk it. Like digging a well probably costs, £1,000 if that, just to put water in. So yeah, it depends, and if that makes if that means you can stay in Thailand for 10 years, on a rented property, £1,000 doesn't really sound that much, does it? So, but I wouldn't come and build a nice big house on the property and things like that.
I think I have got to say something about living in Thailand. I think when you live in Thailand, you sort of almost got to forget about your home currency a little bit too, when you start comparing everything back to home, or everything's cheap, so you think, it's okay, before you know it, you end up, I'm just talking about every day here, you end up spending a lot more, to me, you think, it's only 1,000 baht, but when you think, it's only 20 quid, but in Thailand 1,000 baht can go quite far, can it? So
when you start living like a local, you adjust to that economy. You're spot on.
If I go back to the UK now, I'd be like, whoa, if I converted everything back into Thai, I'd be like, whoa, I can't, bloody hell, I can't buy that.
700 baht for a meal.
For me, there you go. For me, when I was in the UK, for the last couple, for 3 years before I came to Thailand, I was back home living with parents. Like I lived very cheap, I had lovely home cooked meals, and things were quite good. So it's one of them. If I had to go back now and do the family and live by myself, I don't think I could do it. I really don't. It's one of them, isn't it? I don't know if you guys look at stuff back home still. I chat with relatives and stuff like that, and they're telling me how much something is. I'm like, bloody hell,
Yeah,
The only thing,
inflation's
the only thing that's good is cars. Like, I've got a family member who's just bought not a new car, but a second-hand car, a few years old, and I'm like, oh, you only paid for that for it? Lovely, I know cars did go up over COVID and stuff, but they're still for the
tech as well. Tech's a bit pricier here compared to back home.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I agree with that. A little bit. It's not massive, but it is a little bit, isn't it? I don't know how cheap Australia is. I know we're from two different countries.
Yeah.
But the UK is certainly expensive for a lot of things. And Thailand, you can make money stretch a lot further. And they're not friends, but associates in a way from sort of, I've got a couple on Instagram who came to Thailand traveling for a few months, and now they're back like doing online sort of work. And I think when you're quite young and you come to Thailand and you spend a good few months, you get the Thai fever, don't you? I think that's what it's called. And you try and everybody tries to do anything they can to stay, don't they? It's one of them, isn't it?
So going on topic a bit, Drew, I know you've had a new drone this week, so what's your opinions on your drone, and do you think it'll help with your footage, your content, and things like that?
Oh, I knew this was gonna come out. I thought I was hoping it was gonna end, but drone Thailand. Right, you got to get your licenses, which was actually pretty quick. It says like 15-30 days, and some people say 6 months. Mine was back in a matter of days. Mine was quick. You got to buy insurance. You pay a company to do it all for you. It costs about 1,000 baht in total. I think it was about 1,200 baht off the top of my head. So it wasn't expensive, but I've had nothing but problems trying to fly it in places which it would be good to fly in, as in like national parks and stuff like that. It's been pretty difficult and long-winded. So my advice is, if you're flying a drone around your home, around your own land, crack on, get one. But if you're looking to go out and about and use it in some beautiful national parks and stuff, I don't know if it's worth it, so.
I mean, it's understandable, because a national park is a protective piece of land, isn't it? So a drone whizzing all the noise over the land probably spook the animals. So it is understandable that you're not allowed to fly a drone over a national park. But I think for you, Drew, I think it'll help with your storytelling for your videos and things like that. Just to give an overview of when you talk about your house or your village, just a nice drone shot over the village, it just gives that different perspective, doesn't it? So
well, it saves somebody looking at me all the time, so, bloody hell, it's probably killing my stats on YouTube, just having like the selfie like this and it's on your face all the time. Yeah, the drone's very good for that, and I'm glad I went all legal with it, and I advise anybody who does get a drone to make sure you go all legal with the drone. It's not hard to do. You can use a company. Feel free to join the Life in Real Thailand Discord, and I can happily send you the link to the website and company that I used. That drone with the faulty blades, yeah, that's it. I crashed the drone and now I've changed the blades, yeah, and now it's like a bit like this. It's a bit like, it's got one leg, if you want to call it, one arm, that I've noticed is a bit like, it like does this a little bit. I'll get a video of it with my camera while filming the drone. I used it today in the wind, boys, and I've never been so... Look, come on, let's be honest. I spent like 500 quid on this drone, and that can last me a long time in rural Thailand here. That's what, like, it was 24,000 baht or whatever. That's like nearly a month of living here, isn't it? So I'm flying it over water, and it's like doing a bit of this and a bit of that. I'm nervous as hell, so... All the footage I got today with that drone has been quick rush footage, because this thing's all over the place, and I don't know. I should have bought a cheap one, personally. I should have went for a cheap one.
Yeah, I crashed my drone this week as well, Drew. So yeah.
Yes.
Not the only one.
Yours, mate. I don't know whose was worse. I think yours was worse. Mine was like showing off to the villagers. They're all like waving, looking at it, and I'm not being honest. I'll be honest. In Thailand, flying a drone, it's hard because the sun's beaming. You're trying to like spot it. You're looking up, and you're also like thinking about the controls and looking at the controller while trying to keep an eye on your drone. So I flew mine in sport mode really quick and clipped all the tree. But you went straight into the post.
Yeah.
So,
It survived though. The trusted drone has survived.
have you changed your blades though?
No. Blade's still intact.
Well,
I've also made another purchase. So this table and chair set this week, literally got delivered 2 hours after I purchased it. I think that's one thing I like about Thailand. You can go anywhere and buy anything, and you can ask them to deliver it. Just follow you home, and you'll have it there, literally as soon as you get home. So yeah, it's a nice little area for us, to sit as a family. So when we go to the market during the day, we can come back, sit outside, have a communal meal. It's also to teach the kids as well how to sit on a chair. So when we go out in public, they can behave and just sit, and eat their meals.
Yeah, how did you find that today with over the weekend with going to the national park?
I mean, they were all right. They were well behaved, to be fair, because the national park, they got like a big dining area, but it's like a viewpoint kind of thing, and it's a vast like bit of land, so the kids can just run on the grass, and they were occupied just running around, so they weren't like at the table just messing up the dishes and things like that. So they were quite well behaved.
Yeah, it's normal, isn't it, to have what you've got table and chairs outside. I only don't do it. I'll give you the honest reason why I haven't done it in the front of my property. It's because if I have everybody sat around eating sticky rice, eating their meals and all that, I'm just going to start attracting the ants. And there's one thing that drives me up the wall in Thailand, and that's bloody ants.
Can't keep them away though.
Yeah, you can't keep them away, no, but it's the bites. The bites are worse than any mosquito bite. I honestly think ant bite is worse than mosquito. I don't know what it does to me. Maybe it's just my skin doesn't agree with it, but I'll get big lumps come up on your feet. But yeah, it's one of them. They're everywhere, aren't they, lads? You just cannot keep them away.
Yeah.
We got a sweaty cup from New Mexico.
Oh wow!
Jeez, international boys.
Paul's done with the UK. The only thing keeping him is kids' education. Yeah, that's a big thing to be keeping you there. It's always a hard one. What's best for your child, and no one can tell you what is. It's just down to what you think. Educational, it's certainly a big thing. But we hope that's nearly at an end, and you can get yourself over here as soon as possible.
What do you reckon, boys? Do you reckon we should end the stream here?
Yeah, I think we've had a long discussion here. Let's just give it a minute or two. Let's see if anybody's got any questions before we do end.
Yeah.
Just
quite a few viewers in the chat at the moment. There's 67 people. So if you have any quick questions for us, just type them in the chat, and we'll try and answer it in the next 5-10 minutes.
Another thing, I'm gonna plug, like I always do 20 times. I'm gonna plug the Life in Rural Thailand Discord server.
Yep.
I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a link in the comments quickly, in the chat, sorry, because you can ask us questions about, about any topic, and we can mention them in the live streams, or we can answer you there and then. It's a good place, good community. It's not always the busiest, I'm not gonna lie, but we are building it. It's certainly over 100 viewers now, and it's only growing. So if you are interested in something like that, I know not everybody's got Discord. Yeah, there's the link in the comments. In the chat, sorry. But them ant bites are itchy. Yeah, mate, them ant bites are ruthless. But don't get me started, because I can talk about ant bites for the next hour. I can just go on and on and on and on. So let's not get me started on that. So it looks.
My least favourites, them little fruit flies that you get. Oh, they're just nasty. They just get in your cuts, and there's like 20 of them just like piled up in your cut. It's just nasty.
It just feels keep nasty them off, but they keep coming back.
Yeah.
I just find it nuts. I find it nuts. You right there. All I can see is every insect flying all around you. I feel like
I've had to put a thicker layer, because usually when I do these streams, I'm outside like in a t-shirt or something, and I just get bitten to death. So I've covered up a little bit today.
I feel like the mosquito, for me anyway, the mosquitoes are not that bad. I can't remember the last time I had a bad mosquito bite, but ants. Maybe I'll just blame everything on the ants. Maybe it's other things biting me, but I'm literally just, you know, sticking everything on the ants. Someone said, thanks for your time. Stay safe and healthy. I appreciate it. We will try. Somebody did say previously, Ricky, it was a long way away, but they were just saying, hope your children, you know, are all okay.
Yeah, there was a couple of them. I believe Hannah was one of them. I did respond in the comments. So I didn't want to interrupt the flow.
That's good. Red ants, fire ants really hurt when they bite. Would they be the same big red ants? Because I didn't think them ones bite. You know the big ones that you eat here in Isan?
Oh, they definitely bite.
Them ones bite, do they?
I was swimming the other day, and you know when you see an ant's nest and they fold the leaves over to build their nest. So, have you ever seen it, Ricky? They fold like a leaf over. So
yeah,
obviously
I've seen people bring them home.
Yeah. So it's just a big ant's nest, and I've streamed a couple of those the other day. And my God, were they biting my legs and all sorts. So they definitely bite, Drew, 100%.
Oh, make sure you chew them when you eat them, then I suppose.
Yeah.
So Martin asked about the babies, Ricky. Do you want to?
Yeah, they're back home now, Martin. They had surgery again this week, and it's just going to be one of those things. We're going to just have to see how it goes over weeks and months. They're going back to the hospital, I believe, Wednesday to get their eyes checked, and yeah, fingers crossed they're not in need of any more surgery. But we'll see how it goes.
Oh, somebody purchased a special number plate. That's exactly what I'm looking to do at some point. I want a province plate.
Yeah, how much roughly was it, if you can tell us? Because I'd like to know, because they look pretty cool, those number plates.
It's all different. It depends on the lucky number. It depends on what the word, like what it says on the front. Them number plates can go they're ridiculous. It can go from 10,000 baht to millions.
Millions.
Yeah, millions. It's
more
like,
than my house.
Even in but it's the same in the UK now, isn't it? Personal plates in the UK can be worth ridiculous amounts.
You can get some for a couple £100, or you can get, proper nice ones for a few thousand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But I'll be interested to see how much they paid for theirs. We've also got Hannah. Quick homeschooling questions. Are there options to hire private teachers, educators, guidance where you guys are in Chiang Mai, etc.? I know it's possible.
You can 100%. Get tutoring everywhere.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're after.
Yeah,
money talks also. So if you're willing to pay, a teacher will come to your house and teach your kids, no problem.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know of any, but yeah, I assume you could. We have a lot of, well, not a lot. There's definitely a couple Filipino teachers here teaching English in our schools, local schools. I don't know about you guys. I've just come across a few of them in the local village, well, local town, should I say? But yeah, I'm sure you could get private teachers in my area. I just don't know about it personally. You'd have to research that, wouldn't you?
Well, before I left to move to England, I was just living at our other house just out on the outskirts of Pattaya. So when my mum came and got me, I think I spent like 5-6 months. So we had a private teacher. So I had to, them little scooter bike taxis that you can get in Thailand. That wears the orange vest.
Yep.
So we paid a guy for 6 months. So he used to come pick me up in the morning, drop me off at my, it's like 10 minutes away, my private school teacher's place. And then he'll pick me up 2 hours after my lesson. So every morning he used to come and pick me up, take me to school. But it's just me and the teacher, just to learn a bit of English before I moved to England. So I did that for like good 5-6 months. So there's ways of learning English. There's teachers everywhere to teach English, and there's you can also get transportation just to and from fairly cheap as well. So I think we only paid 50 baht a trip.
Yeah, I think online's another big thing, isn't it? I don't know, not everybody, that's for everybody, but I think online also plays a big part nowadays, especially if your child's getting older. Younger is probably not going to be too good, but as they get older, I'm sure it'll work. So for the plates, starts from 30,000 to 9 million. There you go.
Gee.
Certainly not cheap.
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting one. I'll tell you that.
I'm getting one. Pay 30,000.
No, I'm getting one, but not an expensive one. No, I am gonna get one though. Just I don't know why. I just want to change my province on my plate as well. So I don't know. It's yours, isn't it? You can sell it. You can take it with your next car. It's not like it just, you know. It's not like you lose it. No plates in the UK are illegal and can be taken by DVLA. Give you an X plate, which will be half the price of the car. I'm not. Maybe I'm a bit slow, but I don't get that one personally.
No plates. I don't know either.
I think he means number plates.
Ah, yeah.
Oh no, not the number
why are they
plates. I just
illegal?
mean about. I don't know. I'm lost on that one, but
Yeah.
that's probably me. I'm just extra tired. I do apologize. You know, I'm just a bit slow today. I'm slow on the best of days. So I think we'll bring that to the end. That's you know, the questions have certainly died down now. Let's just, you know, say a few things. I don't know if you catch the start of this live stream, but we should have, like repeated last week, deja vu a bit. We should have Lee on the live stream next week. He is penciled in. I hope everything's okay and it does go ahead. I know people
wish Toon all the best as well. Hopefully she has a speedy recovery. Same
100%.
to you and your kids, Ricky. We hope everything goes well for him this week. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know a lot of you just sat through an hour and a half of us waffling on. So we had quite good views during the live stream. So tune in for the next live. Are we hosting it on your channel, Drew?
Yeah,
Where
I
are
think
we
so.
doing it?
We will let people know. It'd be somewhere. It'd be one of ours. But yeah, we'll let people know closer to the time. Just don't want to tempt fate. Let's just get closer to the time and make sure everything's all good with everybody. Don't want to let people down for a second week.
And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Drew's channel, Isan Drew, and also Ricky and Isan. The links is in the description anyway. Make sure you go support their channel. Congratulations before we go to Ricky. Also, he's just reached a big milestone, haven't you, Ricky?
Hit 2,000. We're gonna get Drew there next.
Yeah.
Drew's the next one. So make sure you go over there and show him some support.
We'll get there at some point, but thanks for everybody for watching. I appreciate it. It's good when people interact. It makes it a lot more interesting and
does.
It's quite hard to talk. I know it's three of us, and it's better than being solo, but it is still quite hard to sit and talk, and especially when you look at yourself. When I'm looking at, because I've got to look at everybody because I sort of manage the live stream now, so I'm watching myself back. It's hideous. But yeah, thanks from me.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for content over the next week, and we'll see you next week on the live stream.